Hello and welcome to Mind Body Free. I'm Abigail Moss, and I want to talk to you today about what I feel is at the core of health, wellness, well being versus pain, challenge, and struggle. And I think we can distill it down to two things: connection and disconnection. And if you imagine, coming from being consciousness, being energy, coming from infinite source energy, which there is no separation, there's no sense of difference or change. Coming into this world where there is the ego, there is a separate soul when the soul is born. Um, there's this there's this creation of disconnection. Imagine having been connected to everything and all that is, and all of a sudden there's you and other, me and them. Very painful and traumatic. And that sense of disconnection is one of our, if not our core wound. And so many things stem from that. And it manifests in all different kinds of stories throughout life, and our parents don't show up for us in the way that would help us, in the way that we would feel safe. They weren't able to show up in that way. It's just these stories that play out of not feeling loved, not feeling worthy, not feeling enough, not feeling supported, um, not feeling safe. It's all an aspect of connection and disconnection. For myself, I grew up most of my life unschooled. So I didn't go to school for a long time. And so I spent a lot of time alone. I didn't spend a lot of time with other kids my age. I spent a lot of time in nature. And that was my place of connection. But with other people, I didn't feel a sense of ease, a sense of belonging within different social environments and, people as a whole. And throughout my journey, there was one time when I was on a bus in Vancouver, and as I was on my way to a healing class that I was taking, and I started to become faint, and I knew that this was coming. This had happened before for me, and I was afraid. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know I couldn't stop it. And I was alone on a bus in an unfamiliar city, and I was scared. And I just basically prayed, and I said, all my guides, all the beings of light, like, Spirit, help me. What do I do right now? Please help me. And I just put that call out, and next thing I knew, someone was tapping me on the shoulder because I had fallen unconscious. My head was kind of drifting down, and it was as I was in my seat. And then they started asking me questions. Are you okay? Did you eat today? Have you had some sugar? And then someone else, those people were watching me. And then someone else on the bus had just an unopened can of juice. They handed over to me. Someone else handed over chocolate. They created a space in the very back of the bus where I could lie down. The bus driver asked me to call an ambulance. They asked where I was going, and they said, no, she's okay. Just, she's going here. She'll be fine. We'll look after her. And they all took care of me. And people who, the first person who was leading the charge, when they had to get off the bus, they asked someone else to, take care of me. And it was this really beautiful experience of being so incredibly vulnerable and being so taken care of by strangers. And, there was a woman who had this liquid Tylenol that she put on her hands, and then she just really lovingly kind of rubbed it on my face, and the back of my neck. So I just looked at her, and being in that vulnerable place, it kind of breaks you open. You don't have that, your like exterior shell of safety. But I was just wide open, and I was receiving all of this love from all of these people who didn't know me, who I didn't know. And they just chose to take care of me, to be kind and loving. And I made it all the way to my stop, and someone had, was one of the caretakers was there the whole time. She got off the bus with me. She carried my heavy backpack upstairs to class with me. And then I got there, and then my fellow students helped me and supported me. Um, but it was just so heart opening to have experienced that. And, in this class, this shamanic Chinese medicine class that have been taking, um, my teacher had talked about people walking on the earth. And you can see when people are grounded and connected to the land because it's like their energy sinks in to the earth as they walk. People who are disconnected and often, not 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 familiar with that land, kind of like hop along the surface without really sinking their energy into the earth. So I thought this was fascinating. So on the bus rides, previous bus rides, I had just observed, I had watched this, and I could see people who were connected in with the earth and people who weren't. It's very interesting. And as I was watching this, connection versus disconnection of people connected to the earth and, to what's around them, I noticed there was someone who was lying in an alleyway. Um, and I saw them from the bus from where I've been looking out, and they're just slumped down and they're just kind of holding themselves like this. And I could see that they were severed. Their connection was so broken. I felt so disconnected from all the energy around them. And it was very sad to see that. Um, and I thought this is what we could describe as like how this deep disconnection. And, it happens in the heart, it happens in the mind. The mind's job is to create separation. The ego works to create separation here in the physical plane because we need that. I need to know that I'm Abby, you're you. I put water into my mouth and not yours. I understand some degree of separation. At the same time, at the core of our heart, at the core of love, we know connection, we know oneness. So it's this balance that's kind of needed here between connection and disconnection, between connection of all that is, of yourself, your higher self, your spirit, of Mother Earth, of the universe, of life as a whole. And within that, to realize that we are individuals as well. We're individuals connected to a greater whole. We are one wave, but we are also the depth of the ocean. And so this experience on the bus helped me come back into a greater sense of connection. It helped me to see that life, when I ask for it, will take care of me. When I allow it, it takes care of me. And knowing that has helped to open up my heart, has helped to create even more connection and open even more doors to a sense of feeling supported by life, supported by the universe, feeling connected. And, as we go through different traumatic experiences in life, there's this closing down that happens to protect ourselves. I need to be safe. I need to find a way to be safe. I can't trust others. And while this is this is an instinctual response, and the best in that moment that we can do to protect ourselves, I don't want to stay in this place because it cuts us off from the open expansiveness and connection of life. And so doing the inner work to go into those places that feel cut off, to heal them, to reconnect them, is so freeing and so liberating. Einstein said, you can learn a lot about a person by asking them if the universe is a friendly place. And it's going to say so much about how they see the world, and how we see the world is the lens through which we see reality. And it's the world that we create for ourselves. So which world do you want to create for yourself? It's a choice. It's a choice to do the work, to do the healing, to question beliefs and things that say that the universe is not here to support you, or to question any beliefs that don't bring you happiness and peace, to let go of the ones that create stress. Because the universe is just being, and what we make that mean is up to us. So I wish you many blessings and happiness, love, and connection. Take care.